Faith used to belong to the gods. Now it belongs to those who wake up before the sun and move when no one watches. In a world where belief has rotted into slogans, where prayers are posted instead of whispered, the only real religion left is discipline. Because to stay committed in a collapsing age is the purest form of worship, not to any deity, but to the potential of what you could become if you refuse to give up. Most people think faith is about hope. It's not. Faith is about repetition, the quiet conviction that the act itself means something, even when it doesn't reward you. The same with discipline. It's the art of doing the thing when it makes no sense, when the body aches, when no one notices, when you've failed 100 times and still rise like a ghost that refuses to die. Discipline is faith without fantasy. It's belief turned muscle. The world mocks that kind of dedication. It calls it obsession, extremism, unhealthy grind. It praises balance because balance keeps you harmless. The system needs you calm, distracted, comfortable, scrolling instead of building, dreaming instead of doing. The moment you start living like your time matters, you become dangerous. Because discipline creates self-trust, and self-trust is the death of dependence. You can see it in every man who's hollowed himself out through work and pain, in every woman who turned her loneliness into purpose. They learn what the world forgot, that discipline is not about control. It's about respect. Respect for the hours, for the breath, for the chance to exist at all. Most people treat their lives like cheap entertainment. The disciplined treat theirs like a sacred text. Every hour written with intention, every act a verse. Discipline demands sacrifice, and that's why it terrifies people. It demands you give up comfort, distraction, pleasure, the soft poison of later. It doesn't negotiate. It doesn't comfort you. It doesn't forgive you. It's merciless, but it's honest. The world lies to you with shortcuts and dopamine. Discipline tells you the truth in a single sentence. You get what you earn. Faith used to be trusting in an unseen force. Discipline is trusting in yourself, an even greater mystery. Because the hardest person to believe in is the one in the mirror. You know your own flaws too well. You've seen yourself break promises, betray your word, choose comfort over growth. To rebuild that trust is a kind of resurrection. Every early morning, every repetition, every refusal to give in, they're small acts of worship, proof that belief can still exist in a godless age. We live in a time where people pray for miracles while refusing to move their hands. They want strength without resistance, love without vulnerability, success without sacrifice. They think faith is waiting, but waiting is just fear dressed as patience. The truth is simpler and crueler. Nothing comes to those who wait. Everything comes to those who endure. Discipline burns away the unnecessary. It strips you to your essence. It forces you to face your hunger, your laziness, your fear. And once you've seen those things for what they are, you stop making excuses. You stop blaming the world, your childhood, your pain. You just work. That's the moment you stop being a victim of life and start being its sculptor. But discipline has a cost. It will make you misunderstood. People will call you distant, cold, obsessed. They'll whisper that you've lost balance, that you're missing out on life. What they don't understand is that you are life. Condensed, focused, weaponized. Most people dilute themselves trying to please everyone. The disciplined condense themselves until they can cut through anything. There's beauty in that severity. Because discipline, when carried long enough, turns to serenity. Once the struggle becomes a rhythm, the pain becomes prayer. You no longer need motivation. You move because it's who you are. The noise of the world fades. and the mind becomes still. That silence isn't emptiness. It's peace earned by effort. Discipline also reveals something sacred, that freedom and restraint aren't opposites. They're the same force in different stages. The undisciplined chase freedom and lose it. The disciplined build restraint and gain freedom. The man who cannot control his impulses is owned by them. The one who can commands his fate. People chase happiness as if it's a divine right. Discipline knows happiness is a side effect, not a goal. Fulfillment is what remains when you've done what you said you'd do, no matter how small, no matter how hard. You find peace, not in pleasure, but in alignment. You stop seeking external validation because you've earned your own respect. And that's something no one can take. Faith without discipline is daydream. Discipline without faith is tyranny. Together, they forge something unbreakable, a state of being where struggle and purpose merge. You don't pray for better days, you build them, one brutal repetition at a time. You don't hope for miracles, you become the miracle. The world will always tempt you to loosen your grip, to rest, to take it easy, to compromise. But every time you choose to stand firm, something in the universe shifts. Because willpower is a rare vibration. It cuts through noise, through weakness, through time itself. The disciplined don't chase destiny. They carve it. And maybe that's what real faith has always been. Not waiting for a savior, but becoming one.